Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Elite Racing Network for the Mrs. Goody's Grand National Series, coming at you live tonight from Pocono. We are wrapping up qualifying here. We've got about a minute left here in qualifying. Should be a fun race. Pocono's got a lot of grip. It's got the new scan here a couple years ago. Tire fall off, though, is something that's pretty drastic here. So we should see plenty of fall off when you come and get those tires. It's 60 laps. I think the fuel window is about 30 to 35 laps or so. But we might see some guys break that into two stops. Joining me tonight is Robert Hill, and we have David up here too, looking over us here. It's great to have both of them up here. Robert or Dave, if you want to give your input, what do you guys think? Is it going to be a straight up? Do you just want to do 30 and make it a one stopper? Or do you think we'll see some guys pit on lap 20 and 40 here and two stop it and see if the tire advantage helps them out?
Yeah, I mean, you're definitely going to see guys with different strategies throughout the night. You will see the guys that'll maybe split it into two stops, or even the guys that will try to push the one stop and just split it halfway. But I guess it really depends how the cautions fall tonight. I think we'll definitely see a few yellows as the exits of these corners can get a little tight, and especially when they go through turn two there, it gets a little too tight, and quite often you'll see guys end up in the wall and going around. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. Only 3 sets of tires tonight, like you mentioned, Chris, and 60 laps. So it'll definitely be interesting to see what happens there, as qualifying has just come to an end. And it looks like RC Anderson will be on the pole here once again. It'll be RC Anderson on the front row with Kwame Scott, the rookie, P2. Jeff Green in third, with Tate Lytle in fourth, Trevor Elam fifth, and Chad Frankenfield sixth on the outside of row number 3. Just behind them is Jay Kaner, our friend Harrison Talon, Trey Holmes, and David Carpenter rounding out the top 10, with Jacob Adams and Zach Evans there in 11th and 12th. Matthew Weeks, Tyler Fody, Tyler Pop rounding out the top 15, with Michael Hossack, good run for him, Latham Joyner, Blaze Brinkley, Vincent Isabella, and David Westergreen rounding out the top 20, with Richard Hines, Wyatt Canadle, Jared Campbell, Chris something, Christopher Tate up there in the 24th position, and rounding out the top 25, Ethan Stanley. The rest of the field being Dustin Dewar, Johnny Thomas, Michael Goodman, Kynan Jones, Justin Vandermeer, Brandon Ultra, Casey Hatch, Mark Keeler, Alex Gray, Josh Smith, Harrison Hogan. Then we have Scott Crump, Josh Adams coming all the way from the rear, with David Tooker, Josh Robin, Jesse Rasmus, and Brandon Key rounding out the field here tonight. So we will have quite the race here this evening. And just before we do get going here, we'll take a look at the point standings. So leading the points, we have Scott Crump with 146 points. That's 20 over RC Anderson. David Tooker in third with 123. Tyler Fody and Matthew Weeks rounding out the top 5. And then just quickly taking a glance over at those rookie points. That's always a fun battle to follow as well. Latham Joyner leads Josh Adams by 12 points. Sorry, Ethan Stanley, Brandon Ultra, and Kynan Jones rounding out the top 5 there. So tonight should definitely be an interesting one here, as the pace car is now rolling, and we will get underway here shortly.
Yeah, and real quick, I want to take a chance to shout out all of the great sponsors, everybody here at the Elite Racing Network. Dave helps look over all of the Elite Racing Network. None of this happens without him. And everybody at the Mrs. Goody's. This is the Mrs. Goody's Grand National Series. Mrs. Goody's has hooded towels and handmade items for babies, kids, you, and your home. And you can look them up at Facebook. So they are now on Facebook, no longer just about the email. Check them out on Facebook, see if there's something there you like. And then everybody at TA Services. TA Service has been a trusted and domestic and international full-service third-party logistics provider, offering freight brokerage, managed transportation, warehousing and fulfillment, and cross-border logistics service to shippers around the globe. Everybody at Blue Egg Marketing, they're your marketing department, and they are the marketing department for small business. And then, of course, Brincy Cam. Brincy is a venture-backed tech company based in Toronto and Boston, and they are on a mission to reimagine the group photo experience. I do not believe we have a race sponsor tonight. It is the Pocono 150, so no race sponsor. If you are interested in sponsoring any of these races over the season, there are a ton of openings as far as coming on board and naming a race after you or your company. So check out Chad on Twitter or the Elite Racing on Twitter. As we come through turn 3, like you said, RC is on the pool, Kwame Scott. One thing to note here is Josh Adams was super fast in practice, and he must have wrecked in qualifying. Oh, we waved off the start.
Yeah, the one thing I was seeing here, Chris, is quite a few guys are still trying to catch the field. They left pit road really late. I think somebody was late leaving, and that caused a bit of a delay here as we look at the back of the field, and they're really not together whatsoever at this point. Also, Josh Adams, yeah, as we see here from Race Control, Josh Adams EOL for a banner issue. So Josh Adams does not have the correct banner on board his machine tonight. He will go to the rear of the field.
Yeah, but he didn't even put down a qualifying time, so...
Yeah, I think he kind of knew, but I don't know. I still think I would have put a qualifying time down for a good pit stop.
Yeah,
pit box, yeah.
Yeah, pit stop there.
So one thing to point out as the cars are coming around for another pace lap here, Josh Robin and Josh Robin only will be starting on pit road this evening. So look for him to try to work his way back through the field at some point tonight, as he's setting himself quite far back early on. Yeah, Chris, this should be an interesting race. Pocono, always a tough one, and I guess since they gave us an extra pace lap here, why don't we make some race picks here quickly?
Man, track position's hard to come by. This is one of the few races of the year where I, as a broadcaster, would rather be racing. I really enjoy Pocono. It's a unique track. I put this place right there with Indy, 2 tracks that I really enjoy to run. I'm gonna take Josh Adams from the back. That's what I'll do.
Josh Adams from the rear of the field. That's definitely, I think that's a pretty good pick. I'm going to go, ooh, that's actually pretty tough. I think I'm going to have to go with a guy that is pretty good on these races, and I'm going to go Matthew Weeks. As we are underway here, RC Anderson, nice jump.
RC. Jeff Green wasn't way tucked up on him. They fan out, just like you see him in real life. They're going to fan out down here into turn 1.
What a view.
Running everywhere. Get down into the first corner. Oh, we got a wreck at the back.
Yeah, looks like Johnny Thomas up there in the wall. We're still under green, but definitely not the start that Johnny Thomas wanted.
Yeah, that's a lot of damage there in the first corner. It's not what you want, is getting involved in a wreck in the first corner.
Absolutely not, as we see cars cycling all throughout the scoring pylon there. Zach Evans in a nice battle with Tyler Fody, actually with everybody back here.
With everybody. It looks like we're single file the first 5 or 6. Chad Frankenfield is the first side-by-side.
As you see Chad side-by-side with Trevor Elam here. And then behind them, it's pretty much double or triple file all the way to the rear, as Chad does clear Trevor Elam there, and Tyler Pop now looking to the inside of Elam with Jacob Adams right there as well.
Yeah, this is a place, I can't speak for this car, but I know in the next gen car, if you get stuck on the bottom, you back up a lot.
As we see Josh Adams trying to make some moves early on here. He's all the way back in 34th at this point on lap 2. But, oh, as we see the Huck machine there on the bottom of the track.
We've got the sponsor of that car with us tonight. Look at that. Let's keep it clean. The boss is here. We want to be running at the finish of this one here.
Yeah, we got that beautiful number 14 Dave Huck's machine. Obviously our good buddy Dave Huckleberry just hanging out. He's just going to monitor the race control aspect here tonight, but hopefully his car can have a good run for him.
Yeah, everybody's getting super strung out, super quick right now. It's kind of might take the look of a green flag race here. I would not be surprised if we were able to run green. Wouldn't be surprised if we got a yellow either, but this is a place where once you get strung out, it's about making lap time and not messing up, and any mistake you make usually isn't going to wreck you. It's just going to lose you some time, like it's in the wall. Might see a fuel mileage race, might see a tire management race, and then if caution comes at the right time, we could see a mixture of both.
Yeah, you really don't know what we're going to see. It all depends on when that first caution flies, if the first caution flies, and that typically sets the pace for the rest of the evening. But so far, so good. Everyone's doing a nice job.
We got a
Kwame
battle
up
for
here
the
side
lead.
by side.
Yeah, Kwame's going to take the lead from RC down into turn 1.
Yeah, good pass by the rookie Kwame Scott. I mean, he's a rookie here in Elite, but most of us that know the driver Kwame Scott, he's no rookie out there. He's one of the strongest that we get to compete against week in, week out in another league, and he's showing his strength here tonight so far.
Yeah, and as we saw that, Jacob Adams has moved forward as well. I say that, and he might give one of the spots back there.
Yeah, Jacob battling right now here with Trevor Elam. These guys are side by side into, I believe,
Turn 3.
Turn 3, yes. All these turns kind of look the same at some point, but as you see on the screen, Race Control has put up an information message for us. There has been a blinking warning on the number 90 machine of Scott Crump. That's unfortunately a pretty common issue for Scott, and hopefully he can get that sorted out, because he's been really strong all throughout, and he's had some issues with his blinking that's cost him, and certainly he'll want to get that sorted, as we see a nice side-by-side battle here between Latham Joyner and Vincent Isabella.
Yeah, it looks like what I'm noticing here down in turn 1, if you're on the top, you are the car that pulls down that straightaway. It seems really hard to come off turn 1 underneath somebody.
Yeah, it's definitely hard, just based off of having to give that space, and like I said earlier, it gets pretty tight, and you don't want to be running into the guy or causing any incidents early on that really are something that you can control. As we just take a look through the field, see a couple guys just having some decent starts so far. Garrison Hogan up 13 spots so far in this one, with David Tucker up 15, Jesse Rasmus up 10 spots, and so far the biggest drop through the field has been David Carpenter down 12 positions.
Yeah,
obviously early though.
It's going to become a tire management race, and if these cars are pushing, they're going to start pushing out and hitting the wall. You're going to try to pick up the throttle a little too quick, especially out of the tunnel turn. It's really easy to hit the wall out of the tunnel turn. You know, you'll pick it up, you'll think you'll pick it up at a good spot, and it'll just start shoving the nose, and before you know it, you're in the wall.
Yeah, like you mentioned, you definitely don't want to hit the wall, because that's something that can cause a lot of damage here and everywhere, really. But track like this, you don't want to have any aero damage, because these corners don't give a lot of forgiveness, and if you're pushing too much, it's just gonna ruin your night. So we look throughout here, it's pretty single file almost all throughout the field.
Great run for Jeff Green in the TA Services machine right now. It's sitting there running 3rd.
Yeah, Jeff doing a nice job so far. Started 3rd, running 3rd at this point, but hey, you take him as you get him, and he's having a pretty strong run, staying out in front of Chad, and Jay Kaner there right behind Chad, gonna try to make a look at him here shortly, but so far so good by these guys.
Yeah, and as you get strung out, it's easier and easier to make laps around here.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, just like taking a look through, everyone continues to really be single file. We don't see any side by side until I think somewhere back, yeah, right here with Dave Carpenter and Michael Hossack, as well as Justin Vandermeer, and that's back around the 25th, 26th position. So these guys playing it smart early on, and I think that's the right call.
Yeah, I'm curious to see how some of these guys work their way forward. I feel like we're far enough now where if you save some stuff at the start, it's time to start going. So I'm thinking about guys that started at the back, like a Josh Adams. It's time to start driving your way through it if you can, if you think you got the car. And based on practice, it looked like he was one of the strongest cars here.
Yeah, Josh back here in the 31st position. And you can see just how tight these guys are racing. He's right now behind Richard Hines.
Oh, we got a wreck here. It's the 73. Somebody blasted. Oh, it's the 14. Dave, I'm so sorry that your car looks like it's missing a nose there.
Yeah, as you look at the number 14, Hux modified right there. We'll take a look here on the Whiskey Cast replay, see what happened, but definitely an unfortunate start for Casey Hatch and Kynan Jones. We'll take a look and see what brought that one out here, Chris.
It looks like the 73 misses the corner. He misses the corner. The 23 or 73 kind of comes down, and then they might have made some netcode contact. The 14 hits the wall, comes back off the wall, a little more netcode. Turns that 73. The 14 hits. Somebody blasted.
I think that's the 80. Christopher Tate? Or 30 Christopher Tate, potentially?
I think that's Josh Smith in the 80.
Yeah, let's take a look. I also want to catch the onboard of the 21 here in just a moment, but we'll watch Josh Smith in this one. I believe you're right.
Yeah, that's it's going to be a race ender for him.
Yeah, you can see it starting to develop just ahead of him here. 21 sneaks through. Yeah, that's the 80 of Josh Smith, like you mentioned. Race control says it's net code. No action taken, just like you called out, Chris. But definitely unfortunate for those guys. Now, I want to see who that other car was that did get involved or just snuck through.
Brandon Key. It says 21, but Brandon changes his number twice
Yeah,
a week,
Brandon known for changing his drivers, his numbers. So we'll ride on board with him because that was crazy.
That was a great piece of driving there by him to get through that wreck.
As you see just ahead, we'll go quarter speed here. You see the 14 bounce off the wall. Yeah, that's major net code. And we'll watch here as Brandon Key. There's no opening right now. Oh my gosh. What a drive by Brandon Key to get through that. He just pit there, probably 4 tires, some fuel, and a new pair of pants, but nice job by Brandon Key. Is actually everyone has pit.
Yeah, everyone pitted.
First car off pit road, Chris, Jesse Rasmus.
Yeah, I think he'll be coming back.
He's up 40 spots if he does stay out. That'll be questionable, but I think yeah. That
was an accident by Rasmus there.
Yeah, that's we'll see what he does. I mean, I believe he will come back down. Yeah, that was pretty decent opening run though, Chris, by these guys. 9-lap opening run, and unfortunate netcode incident brought out the first yellow.
Yeah, you never want to see netcode, but it is part of it. It's unfortunate. It's unfortunate that it was the 14 machine here that we got the boss up here.
Yeah, definitely unfortunate for Dave's car there. Casey Hatch as well. Casey tries so hard in these races, and luck just often is not on his side. We'll take a look here at the entrance of pit road. Looks like Jesse Rasmus will come down, like you mentioned. Few other takers as well. Michael Hossack, Josh Smith will come back down, likely for some damage repair on Josh Smith's car. But Kwame Scott and RC will continue to lead this thing as lights do appear to be off on the pace car. So just quickly taking a look through at our picks. The current top driver of our picks is Matthew Weeks up there in the 15th position. And your driver, Josh Adams, doing a great job here up in P19. So just a few rows behind Matthew Weeks and doing a nice job. So It'll be interesting to see how he progresses as this race goes on, but so far it's been RC and Kwame Scott up here. We'll see how this restart goes, as RC's gotten some really strong restarts in this series so far, and we haven't really had the opportunity to see Kwame leading them to green too many times so far, and I think he's gonna put on a battle here with RC.
Here we come for the restart. You think Kwame's going to be able to get the jump here?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely think Kwame is very strong of a driver. So we'll see what he can do. I mean, RC, like I just mentioned, RC's gotten really strong starts in the series, and we haven't gotten to see Kwame up front leading these things on the restart too much, but I think his experience will come into play, and he'll be just fine.
We shall see. Kwame takes control as we get ready to head into the restart zone. Good start there for Kwame.
Yeah, good jump by Kwame. He had Jeff Green right on his rear end for that start, so definitely a nice jump there, as you do see the field start to fan out once again.
Yeah, they are fanning out again down here into turn 1. Cars kind of go everywhere. Oh, a little contact with the 51. The 92 is going to get the 6.
Oh!
Jake Adams is around.
Caution is back out on the speedway. Unfortunate restart incident there. We'll take a look on the Whiskey Cast replay. Unfortunate Jake Adams stuck back here. Might be able to carry on, but we'll take a look and see what happened anyways. So we look Jacob Adams on the bottom here, that yellow and black 25 machine on the inside of Chad Frankenfield.
That starts way back in the middle of the corner. You're going to see here he starts to get loose, and then it just stayed loose. He never could get it caught.
Nice job by Trevor Elam there in the 29, not getting into him here. Yeah, Jake grabs a piece of the wall. Don't know if anyone else actually grabbed a piece of that incident.
I don't think so, but there was contact back in the middle of the corner, too. The 51, if we can look at the 51 down into turn 1 and watch, like, that should have been a wreck. I was looking at that spot, and then all of a sudden, Jake was wrecked up in front of him.
Yeah, we'll take a look here. We'll load up the Whiskey Cast replay here on Harrison Talon and see what happened with him.
Yeah, he just drives down in, gets loose, starts sliding, tries to catch it. Almost contact with the 11. There was contact between the 92 and the 6 as that happened.
I think he got... Wow. I gotta say, Chris, there should have been contact with quite a few cars there with Harrison getting loose the way he did, but I'm shocked that that there was no further damage than what happened. As race control has indicated, it is a self-spin on the Jacob Adams machine. No tally has been issued. As we know, Elite uses a tally system to keep track of incidents, and none will be assessed on that one. So a little bit of less pain on that for Jacob, but still unfortunate as he's now back in the 42nd position.
But yeah, like I said, I was looking back at that 51 car down in the 1 because I was like, that's going to be a wreck. They're going to wreck. They're going to wreck. So that's where I was watching, and then all of a sudden the caution came out, and none of them had wrecked, and it was Jacob Adams.
Yeah, I was a little surprised because I was watching that Harrison Talon gaggle as well, as he almost got into the side of Matthew Weeks, nearly got hit in the rear by Trey Holmes. So that would have definitely been an unfortunate incident for the Pro Edge and Fueled Up affiliation. There's multiple of their cars would have been involved in that, and some good driving by those guys avoided any of them getting some damage. So good work by the field, because that could have been a whole lot worse than it was.
Yeah, I just want to... I know it was the last caution, but I wanted to talk a little bit about Casey Hatch getting caught up in that wreck, because Dave is here. And Davis came forward this season, and he started sponsoring some cars. He's got, he sponsors this car here in the Xfinity Series. He sponsors some Indy cars. And it has been a terrible start of the season for Dave. His Indy cars are not faring very well. They're not finishing very good. And when, wrecked out here at Mid Ohio last week. So hopefully something good happens for
I need to
Dave.
pick better drivers.
What was that, Dave?
I think I need to pick better drivers.
I guess. I mean, especially that IndyCar driver you got over there, man. He has no business out there.
Yeah, I mean, Dave, if you're looking for a driver to sponsor, I do see an empty car up here in the 5th position. Jay Kaner, he's always looking for a sponsor. I believe Ryan Gavel usually runs a blank car, and these guys sometimes run towards the front, so give him a call. But definitely unfortunate for Casey and that number 14 Hux machine. Like I mentioned earlier, he tries so hard, and it's just unfortunate that bad luck hits him again, and he's sitting on pit road. Actually, I say that, and here he comes. So
that's right. He's going to come out and finish. He's going to keep running. He knows the boss is watching.
Yeah,
I didn't mean slight toward Casey. I just wanted to take a shot at Chris. So.
Oh, Chris, are you his IndyCar driver?
I cannot confirm or deny if I drive one of those IndyCars.
That's funny. I like that. But
yeah, I wasn't taking a shot at Casey either. I was 100% taking a shot at myself.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, Casey's still in the lead lap here. See what he can do with that car. Probably not too much, as lights are off on the pace car and we are getting set to go green once again. But yeah, hopefully Casey's luck can turn around. Hopefully yours can too, Chris. It's certainly not easy getting into those IndyCar machines. I've done it myself and embarrassed myself a few times, but hopefully your luck can turn around and maybe you can grab yourself a podium.
Yeah, I'm willing to try to learn over there and see where it goes, see what happens. But as for now, we got Casey Hatch still running that here, so Dave's still got a shot at victory lane. Now, albeit it might be slim for a car without a nose, but there's a shot there.
Anything can happen, as we've seen in the real world. Yeah,
we saw it over at IRP. I mean, who would have thought RC could run a top 3 over there? So
that's quite true. I mean, we've seen quite a few heavily damaged cars get some decent finishes just based on luck and sticking it out, and we'll see what happens with Casey. Obviously right now he's 39th, but I think if he can run the whole race depending on his car, his motor, he could end up with a top 20, and that'll be a pretty solid recovery in points. But we're getting set to go green once again here for the 3rd restart of the night here. Kwame Scott, RC Anderson on the front row, Jeff Green, Chad Frankenfield, and Jay Kaner rounding out the top 5 as pace cars off.
Yeah, and he's going to get to the start zone, gets gone. It's going to clear RC by at least a car length. The field starts to fan out. Matthew Weeks is going to fan out 3 wide. He's underneath Elam there.
Oh!
We got heavy contact back here in the back. I'm not sure if that's going to be a wreck or not. That's Mark Keeler.
Yeah, there's Mark. He's he almost keeled it, but he's keeping going. Josh Adams, I see him looking 3 wide on the bottom there. Let's try to get a better view of that one. Josh doing a nice job there, Chris. He's up to 16th already. 22 spots gained.
Just surviving and trying to go here. He's pretty good at saving the tires.
Yeah, Josh is really good at saving tires. I have the privilege of being his teammate over on the Cup side. I've learned quite a bit from him so far, and he's if he could start towards the front, I think he'd win quite a few more of these races. Ooh, big block. Vincent Isabella with the block. Josh will get him cleared here.
He gets the spot from Vincent. Vincent's got a big run coming back. He is going to pull to the left and try to take this back. I think Josh, unless Vincent just uses him up or gets into him, I think Josh is in the lane that you're going to want to be in. We will see. Josh might have just given it to him. That's part of Josh being patient right there. He's faster than that car. He let him go. He said, you know what, if you're going to fight me like that, I'm going to sit here. I'm going to save my tires. I'm going to make sure I get a run back at you and make this pass again.
Yeah, these guys are just going to continue duking it out here. You know, neither one of these guys really likes giving up any positions, and they want anything they can get. Obviously, they have the pace to do it, and they have the skill to do it. So hopefully hopefully that battle will continue. I see a pretty good battle back here. Scott Crump, Justin Vandermeer, as Scott blinks out once again.
And Vincent's making a pass now in the 92. And the 92's crossing. He's doing to Vincent exactly what Vincent did to Josh.
Yeah, and
Made for pass getting done in there, then you get pass back.
right ahead of them is Gerald Campbell and Harrison Talon. And this battle will certainly continue as these guys join on to the back of that little pod and put on a little bit of a show here for us in the midfield. That is 12th through 16th actually in the camera view, with P11 Matthew Weeks just ahead of them there in that purple Barney machine. But yeah, nice battle here with these guys, and keeping it going here. We have another battle here. Y Canado, Brandon Ultra side by side, just ahead of them, Michael Hossack and Justin Vandermeer. This is back 27th through 30th, as these guys are trying to put on a bit of show of their own. Y Canado on the inside of Brandon Ultra, and a few more cars behind them joining. Jacob Adams trying to bounce back from his early incident. Down 21 spots, but I think Jacob has the skill and determination to work his way back up there, so we'll keep an eye on him. But back up at the front, it's all Kwame.
And I know you just left it, but every time we see that car, every time he runs that car, if I see it, I'm going to say something about it. I think that Adam Petty car, I don't know if he's doing it on purpose to pay tribute to Adam or what, but that is such a cool paint scheme, such a cool deal. Adam Petty was taken way too soon, so anytime I see something with him or Kenny Irwin, both of those guys lost their lives about the same time, and it's just it's a cool deal to run that scheme. Hopefully he's able to get it a little further to the front.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. You know, Brandon Ultra, one of the guys that came up through our Super Late Model Series and really did a nice job there. He's doing a nice job here so far in the Grand National Series. Obviously, 28th where he's running right now. Certainly not where he wants to be. Actually, we have a battle here for second, but Brandon Ultra doing a nice job. He's going to be one to watch for quite a bit of time here in the Elite Racing Leagues, and I'm excited to see what he can do. And obviously, like you mentioned, Adam Petty taken way too soon, and I'm glad that somebody's paying tribute to him week in, week out like Brandon has.
Yep, and like you said, that battle for second, R.C. Anderson and Chad Frankenfield, they're not too far behind our leader, Kwame Scott.
Yeah, Chad's doing a really nice job here, looking now to the inside of RC. And he should make that, yeah, he'll make that pass rather easily into turn one.
Yeah, I think RC is kind of saying, hey, if you're faster and you're going to make the pass, go ahead. I'm going to let you have it.
Yeah, and the battling continues up towards the front here as we see Jeff Green and Trevor Elam almost making contact. If you look back at last season, Trevor and Jeff got together quite a few times when we visited the road courses, so there's definitely no love lost between these two, and we can see it with how hard they're racing each other right now.
Yeah, and that's Tate Lytle, I believe, sitting right behind them.
Yeah, Tate Lytle right there in the 6th position. He's right there. Jake Kaner also in camera view, and Latham Joyner just behind them with Tyler Fody and Tyler Pop rounding out the top 10 currently. But yeah, this is a pretty decent battle. As you see Tate basically right on the rear end of Jeff Green. As you look on the rear of Jeff Green's machine, actually as Tate ruins that by going side by side with him.
I thought Jeff might have been taking a look at Trevor. I think he was trying to.
Ooh, that's getting tight.
Oh,
whoa!
There's contact! Tate's in the wall!
Wow.
That's heavy damage to the right side of Tate.
Yeah, that's not good for Tate Lytle there. We'll actually take a look, see if we can pull this up on the Whiskey Cast replay once again. Just take another quick view at what happened. As you see, they're side by side here into turn number 1. And you can see it start getting tight right around here. Jeff looking to the inside of Trevor.
Yeah, Jeff just drove down in there way too far, trying to get underneath Trevor.
And right about here, you can see the car starting to release, starting to push back up. And yeah, he'll just clip the rear end, send Tate up into the wall. Jay Kaner almost gets a piece of it, but that's heavy damage on the number 2 machine of Tate Lytle. And right now, he's all the way back in the 16th position. So definitely an unfortunate incident early on between Jeff Green and Tate Lytle.
Yeah, and I think Tate's going to keep losing spots too. That's pretty severe damage. As
Yeah,
they're
if you
racing right in front of them, though, David Tooker and Vincent Isabella, like we are 3 wide down into 3.
Yeah, you look, Vincent Isabella there just on the left rear quarter panel of Jay Kaner. Actually more to his door at this point. Ethan Stanley on the inside. David Tooker now on the outside joining that battle. Yeah, this is tight. Because David will actually give a shot to Jay Kaner here.
Yeah, got to help the lane move. Got to push. These straightaways are long enough. A little bit of a push can help. Vincent's going to try to drive down in there and slide up. Jay's going to stay there. They come off of turn 1. Exactly the way they went down there past pit entry.
As you see Garrison Hogan and
push somebody else. The 19 said, all right, let me push Vincent. I couldn't push the 9. Let me see if I can help Vincent get around here.
yeah, Garrison Hogan in that number 4 machine making a move as well to the inside of Ethan Stanley, as he'll likely try to get to the back of David Tooker and push him by. The battle definitely on between these guys here. And that is back for the 12th through 15th positions. All under a blanket at this point. Tooker looks to the inside now of Isabella. Hogan was looking to the inside of Kaner. Kaner comes back down.
I thought we was about to fan out 3 or 4 wide there going into 1.
It was definitely looking like it. I mean, right now I see Jay Kaner. He looks a little tight as he tries to make a move on the number 83 machine, Vincent Isabella. Right behind them, Blaze Brinkley joining the fight now, pushing Garrison Hogan past Jay Kaner.
And I'm telling you, I've been watching Tate since that contact. Tate is super struggling now.
Yeah, if you look from the front end here of Josh Adams, next time he gets close, you can just see that rear end damage on Tate's car. And that is definitely causing him to have some really uncomfortable corners and not have the handling that he had.
I don't think the rear damage is what's hurting him. I think it's the damage that he got in the right front. Like, that's really tightened the car up, in my opinion.
Oh yeah, you can kind of see here, as we'll actually take off our scoring tower here for a second. You can see around that rear, the right front wheel well, that it's damaged pretty good on that number 2 machine of Tate Lytle, like you mentioned, Chris, and that's certainly causing him some headaches.
Realistic damage model there around the tires, we'd be seeing smoke off of that car, and that right front would be flat by now, from where the sheet metal would be rubbing on it.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely correct there. And as we transitioned back to this shot here, you did see the 40 machine of Tyler Fody make a pass on Latham Joyner. So Fody now up into the 5th position. And we actually missed this, Chris, but Chad Frankenfield is now leading the race here at Pocono.
Yeah, things got exciting back around where Tate was and that whole deal. So we had to talk about that. But yeah, Chad back out front, or well, out front for the first time tonight. I almost wondered, did Kwame burn his stuff up?
Yeah, Chad's always kind of like these IndyCar style racetracks, and it genuinely does suit his driving style. And we're seeing that here tonight as well, where, you know, he's only up 5 spots. It's 5 spots, but that's 5 spots at the front of the field, and he's leading this thing. So good run so far by Chad. He's trying to outpace Kwame Scott, RC Anderson right now. Trevor Elam kind of trying to work his way into the top 3 as well. And so far, so good for Chad.
Yeah, I'm very interested to see what happens if this race stays green. We're kind of getting towards that pit window here. We're within, I mean, it could be open maybe for some guys. I'm right around 30 to 35 is what I was hearing. So I don't know if it's closer to 30 or 35. But we are right very close here to it, so...
Yeah, I mean, realistically, Chris, you're going to want to push it a little bit past halfway just to give yourself that extra bit of fuel in case of any sort of green, white, checkered situation or anything like that. Last thing you want is to run out on the final restart and be leading the race.
Yeah, I will say this, though. If I get in my window and I'm struggling, if I'm one of these guys that's struggling and I'm in my fuel window, I'm gonna go ahead and pit under green and hope that there's a caution later. Because you can pit here and not lose a lap as long as you're within about, I think it's 11 seconds, 12 seconds, right around there. Not sure what the exact delta would be, but you can pit here and not lose a lap.
Josh Smith comes down pit road just ahead of the leaders. Looks to be the first car to make that dive to pit road. We'll see if anyone else follows. He was a lap down at one point there, or at this point, so I don't know that anyone will necessarily make their call off of him, but might get the mind racing a little bit, thinking that it's getting close to that time. As we just take a quick look, Tate Lytle now down in the 20th position.
We just had some heavy contact here. Not sure what happened, but Jacob Adams there's a lot of contact down into turn 1. Oh, it was with the 54, Justin Vandermeer. Oh, that's not good. Almost got the caution. I don't know if anybody's wanting a caution at this point, but that was very close.
We'll take a look here on the Whiskey Cast replay. Justin Vandermeer here in the 54 on the outside of Jacob Adams. Heading into turn number 1. We'll see what happens here. You mentioned it was in turn 1. Oh, yeah, Jacob. Looks like Jacob came up, but let's just quickly rewind that.
I think.
Actually,
Justin thought he was going to turn in.
Yeah, Justin came down.
We have a caution on the track.
Looks like Johnny Thomas has crashed to bring out the yellow here. Second warning has been issued to Scott Crump there for blinking. We'll load up the Whiskey Cast replay, see why we're under yellow here.
It looks like Johnny blew a motor off of turn 1. Pulled down all the way as low as he could get.
Yeah, I'm going to rewind that just a little further here. And I'd like to ride on board with Johnny Thomas so we can see the moment that his engine does blow. Ooh. So Chris, he had downshifted entering the corner, which I'm sure some of them have been doing, but I wonder if he accidentally downshifted again, rather than an upshift coming off the corner to try to get back up in gear, and it just popped. As you could see, the revs kind of pegged it there, and that's typically a sign of an unfortunate downshift. And as you did see on the screen there, no tally was issued to the number 91 machine. Didn't really cause any sort of issue, just an unfortunate incident for Johnny Thomas that will end his night.
Based on my replay, I don't think he downshifted into 1. I don't think he downshifted until it blew up. The engine blew up, and then he started going down the gears.
Okay, yeah.
I think at that point he's just looking for neutral, trying to get the car to roll as far as he can. The way these cars are, and it's like this on iRacing, just like it is in real life, if you are in a gear, it will not roll as fast or as far if you're not in neutral. So you try to find neutral. Like when you start running out of gas, if you run out of gas, you try to get that thing to neutral so it could coast at its max speed that it could coast at.
Definitely, as we do see the field coming down pit road, I just quickly want to touch on it before the position switch. Jeff Green was involved in that incident with Tate Lytle. He's now in 9th, and Tate himself is all the way back in the 21st position. Ooh, we almost had some contact there entering pit road. As you see the 90 continuing to blink heavily there. He's already had 2 warnings, Chris. I think next one is 3rd strike and you're out.
Yeah, I would think they'll be pretty lenient here, giving strikes on something like that. Oh, Kwame Scott misses his pit box, has to back up. That's going to hurt his time on pit road. We will see what happens here at pit exit.
Taking a look, we do see some guys leaving their pit box now. Looks like Chad will win the race off pit road. Kwame's going to drop all the way to 5th there as Matthew Weeks and Tyler Fody do get by him. So definitely a terrible series of events there for Kwame Scott, who now finds himself back in the 5th position after leading a good chunk of that last little run there.
Yeah, Matthew Weeks comes off 3rd. Fody, Kwame Scott, Trevor, Jeff Green, Latham Joyner, Tyler Pop.
Joe Campbell up in the top 10. Good start for him. I just want to point out Harrison Talon having a nice run there in 12th. Blaze Brinkley back in 13th. We did actually jump over Vincent Isabella in 11th. We'll go back and give him his moment in the sun there. And a couple big movers so far, Chris. David Tucker up 25 spots now here in the 24th position with Josh Adams, or in the 14th position with Josh Adams right behind him, up 23 spots to 15th. Garrison Hogan up 20 to 16th. Dustin Dewar up 9 to 17th. Brandon Key, 24 positions gained there in 18th. David Westergreen, Christopher Tate rounding out the top 20. And then just your quick Huck machine update here. Casey Hatch coming back off pit road, now in P40. So gaining a few positions here and there.
Still on the lead lap.
That's right. You know, you got to give it to Casey. He's determined to finish this one on the lead lap, and he's definitely not having the run he wants. Let's actually check out the machine that we always love looking at on these broadcasts. Cody Harrington in that number 66 machine. He's all the way back 36 tonight.
Reminds me of Dale Jarrett, UPS Collars. I think maybe 2001 Kansas. He drove that race car, I believe. Looks great. Another one like the Adam Petty one. Let's, hopefully they can get him up front. We can watch these things maybe race for a win one time this season.
Yeah, that'd be really cool.
Speaking of up front, this caution came out at a good spot to kill any kind of strategy scenario that we could have had. They are going to be inside of 30 to go right here. We are not going to have any more pit stops. They are good on fuel, so everybody I think has got a set of tires left. But if it runs green from here, we will not see any more pit stops.
Yeah, I highly doubt we will see more pit stops, like you mentioned, if it does stay green. Obviously, only time we might see someone come down is if they've hit the wall or have any real issue. But yeah, I think now it comes down to the driver and how they can save tires at the start of this run here, and how strong they can be at the end of it, as Chad Frankenfield will get to be the control car here for the first time on a restart here tonight. And it'll be interesting to see how he can do with RC right behind him, or right beside him, Matthew Weeks and Tyler Fody behind them, as pace car is about to dip off.
Yep, Chad's going to have control. Gets away by a lot. Very curious, that if that's not the last one, why are these leaders not picking the top? As they fan out, going down here into one. Wow, they're really going to fan out this time. Lots of blocking, lots of guys trying to make a move. Cars just running everywhere all over this racetrack. We're going to have a contact. Oh, it's going to be big. Oh, it's huge.
Oh my!
This is the huge one at Pocono. We have 15 or 20 cars here.
We got every car here, just about. Oh no! Brandon Ultra, I see involved in that. Looks like Justin Vandermeer, Dustin Dewar. I think that's Harrison Talon down there on the bottom. Yeah.
I think it
Carpenter, Tay Lytle. Yeah, we'll take a look here, see what popped off here. That's a terrible joke by me, but we'll take a look anyways here and see what brought out the yellow.
Yeah, Tyler gets loose. He gets down, gets into Vincent, comes up, gets the 51, the 98, the 19 of David Tucker gets heavily. The 45, the 21, the 90, the 81, the 9. I'm just trying to rattle off numbers here. The 99, the 2, I think, the 44, the 73. The 44 just stopped. He wasn't in the wreck. The 54, the 6.
Yeah, there's some good damage there. You mentioned that the 44 was able to just stop, so I think he might be a good one to ride on board with, just to see what happened ahead of him here. As we do ride on board here with Michael Goodman in the 44 machine. You can see quite a gaggle of cars up ahead of him here. As you see the wreck starting, I can see Harrison Talon up there. Looks like Tyler Pop got a bit of air in that one. Yeah, you could just see everyone kind of piling into this thing ahead of him. Michael Goodman does an outstanding job stopping and not getting involved in this one, as pretty much everyone else did pile into it. I want to ride
Yeah,
on
the
board with Harry
71,
as well.
the 90, like a bunch of. This is a Daytona style wreck here.
Riding on board now with Harrison Talon in the 51 machine. He's on the outside. You could see in the left side opening of his car, you can see Tyler Pop there, the 13. He's gonna, yeah, here he comes up into him. Harry grabs a big chunk of the wall, and he's just along for the ride at this point. Oh, somebody hit the wall a ton.
I believe that was the 19 and the 99 that hit together.
99, David Westergreen. Let's grab an onboard with him as well. This is a huge wreck. 99, David Westergreen for Lake Norman Motorsports here. You see him on the inside. That's Dustin Dorr just ahead of him. And you can see the wreck developing just a few rows ahead of him. That blue car on the inside. Tyler Pop gets up there, comes back across. David Tucker gets involved, just comes in, and fortunate for Westergreen. Oh my gosh. Yeah, that's a huge hit for Westergreen. Lucky that this is just a simulator, because that would have hurt.
Yeah, that was a pretty big hit there for David.
We'll actually just take a quick look at pit road as we see Christopher Tate coming off pit road, Justin Vandermeer coming off, David Carpenter now sitting on pit road. Check the front of his car. It looks okay. The Me Fine machine of Zach Evans not looking too fine at this point. Mark Keeler, heavy damage. Brandon Key, his front end's messed up. Blaze Brinkley looks like he's probably done for the day. Richard Hines should be okay. Harrison Talon leaving pit road or entering pit road? Yeah, he's entering pit road. That car looks terrible.
Well, all right. I actually have David Westergreen in the waiting room. So what do we say we bring
Yeah,
him up and
absolutely.
ask him what he saw? Hey, David. This is Chris and Robert and David up in the booth. Just had the big one here at Pocono. Looks like you got caught up in it. Not much you could do. What did you see out there?
Well, look, it's not the way I wanted to talk to you guys, but tried to just make something happen. There's nowhere to go once it got to be green, so I was trying to get a couple of spots on the bottom, and they all went in the wall. Somebody hit somebody and got sideways, and I aimed for the hole, right? And I see the 13, so I slam on the brakes, and I'm like, yes, no, it puts me right in the inside wall. So if I didn't have bad luck, I would have no luck. It's typical for me. I felt pretty good. It's just once they lined up, you couldn't go anywhere. But I'd like to thank Bite Size Sports for coming on board, and the guys at Lake Norman Motorsports. Hopefully, Fody and Vince can go out there and finish this one off. But I hate it, and glad you guys give me a little time here to shout out my sponsors, because they haven't had a chance to be shouted out this year. We've just been wrecked every race. So.
Yeah, we actually rode on board with you there through that wreck, so we wanted to hear from you. Just something we don't see very often outside of Daytona or Talladega is 20-car pileups. So.
Yeah, it was kind of a pack race, honestly. The better ones could get spread out. I kept missing the tunnel turns, so that kept me bottled up. But I was able to make passes and stuff. It's just tough when there's pretty little distance between first and 20th in the field. So.
All right, David, we're about to go back green here. Thanks for giving us a moment of your time, and good luck the rest of the season. Hopefully this was the end of the bad luck for you.
Probably not, but, we'll see what happens. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, it's really unfortunate for David Westergreen there. He pretty much said everything that was on my mind there. That guy has no luck at all, Chris. I mean, I raced with him in a few leagues, and he just always gets caught up in stuff that's pretty much always out of his control. And it's just really unfortunate for him. I hope to see him bounce back and get the good finishes he can definitely get at some point, as the pace car is off, and Chad Frankenfield will lead them to green once again.
Yep, another good start, another good jump for the inside.
Yeah, the inside lane has gotten inside lane's gotten some really good starts here so far in this one, as Chad does get a good lead.
We've got contact. Jeff Green, Gerald Campbell.
as we are under caution once again for the 5th time tonight. Take a look at that one on the Whiskey Cast replay, Chris, but from what I could hear through your mic, it did not sound like somebody was too pleased.
Yeah, just a tight 3 wide. You know, they might rule that netcode, but I think there was going to be contact either way. Jeff just kind of turned in. I mean, as spotters got to be calling 3 wide. Vincent's far enough up there, and so is Gerald. And I would prefer them not call that netcode. If you know what I mean, like, because there's going to be contact either way. Like, yeah, it started with netcode, but Jeff Green was committing to the turn.
Yeah, I don't think I would call that one netcode at all. I mean, to me, it was 3 guys kind of trying to go for the same spot and just ended in disaster. And we'll wait and see what race control does have to say.
Race control called it netcode. Yeah,
I don't know, Chris.
I would call that on Jeff Green. You know, your top car 3 wide. You can't just turn to the bottom.
Yeah, I mean, especially when you are the top car, you have a little bit more room to work with on the high side there. And unfortunately, he did turn down into Gerald. Vincent came up a little bit, and unfortunate that they all got together. Gerald was the loser of that situation, but he should be able to bounce back in this one. Didn't look like he had too much damage from that.
Yeah, I mean, everybody did a great job missing him. So kudos to everybody, you know, missing Gerald there. And Chad still out here, still hashtag where's the pace car? Still have not got onto the pace car.
Yeah, exactly. One thing I do want to just quickly say, though, is Gerald did a great job of holding down the brakes when that happened. I mean, far too often you'll see in these races where guys will get spun out or they'll lose it and they won't hold the brakes. They'll slide down in front of someone, they'll back up in front of somebody, and that's what makes the wrecks bigger than they have to be. So if you can hold down your brakes and make it really obvious where your car is going to be, the chances of getting hit are much slimmer. So good job by Gerald.
Yeah, and I don't think I've done it yet tonight. So here, while we're under caution here with about 20 to go, let's give a shout out to all the wonderful sponsors and everybody that helps Elite Racing here. You know, everybody at the Elite Racing Network, Dave and everybody at ERN, Chad for the league he puts on, different races, running all the time. Chad out winning the thing right now. So, I mean, league owner, it's sat down for tonight, and he's a racer trying to win. Everybody here for the, this is the Mrs. Goodies Grand National Series. So everybody at Mrs. Goodies, a longtime partner of the series. And Mrs. Goodies has hooded towels and handmade items for babies, kids, you, and your home. And check them out on Facebook today. You think you might be interested in a homemade item? Go see what's on their Facebook page. Everybody at TA Services, we saw Jeff Green just caught up in that incident there a little bit, that 3-wide incident. TA Services, for over 36 years, they have been a trusted domestic and international full-service third-party logistics provider. They move what matters to you. Let the TA Services team make ship happen for you. Everybody at Blue Egg Marketing, they are the marketing department for small business. And of course, the new one for the year, Britzy Cam. Britzy is a venture-backed tech company based in Toronto and Boston, and they are on a mission to reimagine the group photo experience. So every one of those sponsors helps us out a ton. Couldn't do it without all the great partners, and Chad, of course, for getting everything where it's supposed to go. Everything that happens out here is thanks to Chad. As you're showing wrecked cars, they probably aren't going to thank Chad for their wrecked race cars.
Yeah, I don't think they'll be thanking too many guys for their wrecked race cars tonight, as we did do a quick run through the field there, and we saw quite a few wrecked race cars. I mean, whoever the company is that supplies the noses to this series, they're going to thank Chad, no doubt.
Yeah, and while all this has been going on, you know who keeps getting this damage fixed? They keep fixing a little bit more. That's Casey Hatch. We're about ready to crack the top 30 here with Casey Hatch.
Yeah, Casey, like I said, if he can keep his car out there, the chances of him getting a top 20, top 25 are going to grow and grow, and he's in 31st right now, so good job by Casey sticking with it and Another guy that I just see creeping forward and forward is your pick, Josh Adams. He's in 9th right now, Chris.
Yeah, he's had to dodge some things and whatnot. I don't know that he's got race-winning pace from what I've seen. I think he had a little bit of contact earlier, got some right front damage, but one thing that we haven't talked about here, Chad picked the bottom again, but it is Matthew Weeks on the front row with him. It is not RC.
Yeah, that's my race pick right there. Matthew Weeks up there in the number 11. Mrs. Goody's machine. He's in P2 right now, like you mentioned, and he's going to try to give Chad a run here as pace car is about to come off here and get us underway once again on the 6th restart of the evening here. Pace car off. Chad will get ready to stomp on that lap pedal. He does.
What a start again.
Yeah, that's a great start by Chad there. Not so great of a start for Matthew Weeks now, as he'll have to battle with RC, and that's exactly what Chad wants to see in his rear view.
Yeah, as we go down in here, guys fan out once again. Try to get it figured out as they go down into the corner. Are we going to get out of turn 1 this time? It looks like we will.
Yeah, it definitely looks like we will get through turn 1 here. Little bit of some close battles towards the back as those guys are side by side, but RC got clear. I actually just want to point out Matthew Weeks is falling right now. Matthew now battling for the 5th position with Trevor Elam. Here comes Josh Adams right behind them on the inside of Latham Joyner.
Oh, we got a caution. Oh, the 54 is wrecking again down here.
Yeah, we'll take a look. It's telling me Scott Crump has crashed, but I think that might just have to... No, he definitely did crash that time. Switch off of him so we can actually change here.
I think that happened under caution. Yeah, the wreck was the 84 and the 42.
84, Wyatt Canadle.
And that's down into turn 3, so whatever you've got up here is down into turn 1. But I know that there was a wreck under the caution as well.
Yeah, so there's something... That was Gerald spinning, so I think that was the earlier wreck. You said it was the 84 and the 92?
42. 84, 42. 42 spins, catches it. So no harm, no foul there. That was the caution. But then behind them, I am not sure who it was behind. The 54 behind them.
Seen the 42 at fault. Let's see if we can find that wreck. Looks like it's right here. Okay. So we'll back this up just a little further. There we go. 42, Michael Hossack right there. Oh! He just came across Wyatt's nose there.
Yeah, and then the stack up for that, the 54 gets into the 73, and he starts sliding. And his slide affects the 25 of Jacob
Goodman.
Adams.
Michael Goodman ate the wall there.
Yeah, and Jake gets down into Goodman. Goodman gets down into Scott Crump, even though you can't see him because he's blinking like a Christmas tree. When Scott is there, he definitely felt the contact from the 44. And he spins.
Oh,
even
yeah.
though he's not all the way there.
You can kind of see it right here, Chris. As Goodman comes down, you kind of see Crump's car appear across the access road and come back up into the wall.
That's crazy.
That was an interesting wreck. That's all I'll say there. As I was pointing out just before the caution, Matthew Weeks has dropped to 6th place, and he started on the front row. Race control pointing out no action on the wreck avoidance incidents. So obviously that's one good thing for those drivers, as quite a few of them now find themselves on pit road trying to get damage fixed that they did not have earlier. I think Wyatt Canadle was able to stay out in his 84 machine. Yeah, he has, but it looks like he does have a little bit of damage on his right front here. Just minor. shouldn't affect him too much. But yeah, it's going to be interesting. Top 10 currently on the track here, Chris. Chad Frankenfield continues to lead. RC Anderson, Tyler Fody in third now, up 11 spots. Kwame Scott there in fourth, with Trevor Elam in fifth. Matthew Weeks sixth. Latham Joyner in seventh. Josh Adams up 30 spots to eighth. Vincent Isabella ninth, and Garrison Hogan up 26 spots to 10th. So some big gainers, some big droppers so far, and it'll be interesting to see what they can do with 16 laps to go in this one.
Yeah, Chad's gonna take the top this time. I was talking about it. I was wondering if we were gonna see anybody pick the top.
What do you think about that, Chris? What do you think of that decision?
I think as long as your starts are good, it doesn't matter. The top will give you a better entry into one, but I mean, the straightaway so long you can kind of get it yourself. But a lot of times it's better to launch in the racing groove than it is out of the racing groove. So I kind of would prefer probably taking the top. But Chad just answered what I was gonna. That the next thing I was gonna say is it depends on maybe who's in third and fourth too. And he just said he was not going to put Tyler Fody behind him on a restart like that this late in the race. So,
yeah, I was actually just thinking that. I believe it was last race we did. We saw that where you really had to look at who was in your rearview mirror, who was behind you, to choose that lane on the final or on a restart late in the race, such as right now with it'll be 15 to go when they go green. He really has to choose. Does he want to control Kwame Scott or does he want to control Tyler Fody? And I think I would much rather have Fody battling with Anderson than Kwame at this point.
Well, and if you pick the top, let's say he picks the top and his restart isn't as good. Where's Kwame going to go? Kwame has to push it. He can't pull out. He's got a car tucked on him. If he gets a bad start and Fody's behind him, Fody could turn left, and he's got 17 lanes to work with all in this front stretch.
That's absolutely correct, yeah.
I don't expect him. I expect him to get clear of RC, and I mean, we'll see as they come down the front stretch here, getting to the restart zone. Green is out. Great jump. He is all the way clear again. So it really.
Yeah, it didn't really make much difference whatsoever, as like you mentioned, Chad will get the lead there. Fody, though, he's trying to figure out what he can do to get by RC.
Oh, contact Josh Adams.
Oh, no.
Around. Jeff Green, the 84 white Canadian. Oh, the 87 is in it.
Cautions breed cautions. We'll take a look and see what happened there. Definitely unfortunate for our good friend Josh Adams there in the number 56 machine.
Yeah, it looks like the 83 is outside of the 70, and Josh just really takes a wide arc and left that middle lane open for a long time. As he comes down, Vincent is just ever so slightly there.
Heavy contact for Jeff Green, wide Canado there.
The 87 gets involved.
Yeah, Richard grabs a piece of it at the end. The 6 is in that one too, so definitely unfortunate there. I just want to see how Evans was involved in this one. 56 at fault. A tally has been issued on that incident.
He just really opened up the entry.
As we see Zach Evans here on the outside. Kind of looks like he just locked down the brakes and spun sideways to try to avoid it, and it actually worked out for him. So if that was on purpose, then good job, Zach Evans. If not, then it should be on purpose next time. Yeah, that's definitely unfortunate for Josh Adams. He had worked so hard to work his way up through the field, and now he's all the way back in 32nd position. As I know we've done this a few times tonight, but I do want to quickly just point out the David Huckleberry machine, Casey Hatch, 28th position right now. So he is just outside the top 25 with just over 10 laps to go. So perseverance may pay off here for Casey Hatch.
Yeah, it's just unfortunate. I'm really kind of wondering why Josh opened up that entry, for that. I mean, he left the opportunity there. Yeah, Vincent probably could have cut him a break. Josh would have had to run off the corner, but Josh really, he really opened up that entry and gave that ability to Vincent to get there.
Yeah, you definitely have to question the decision making on that entry, but unfortunate either way for Josh, and Vincent shouldn't have too much damage from that one. It was just slight contact there, but yeah, like you said, you definitely have to question why he opted to have such a wide arc into that corner.
Yeah, especially with the way restarts are here. We've seen them all night. These restarts have been, I mean, just fanning out everywhere. Guys driving down in there. But doesn't matter now. We're second guessing it. Josh is in the car. Josh did what he thought. Maybe the car had a bobble. It looks like it could have had a bobble going in there. There is a bump down into one. Maybe Josh thought he could go around that bump, get a big drive off the corner. It's really hard to say, but no matter what he was thinking, whether it was intentional or not, that's going to probably be his race, since it was nose-to-nose contact with Jeff Green once he got spun around.
Yeah, definitely some damage on that 56 machine. He doesn't have a rear end, but he will leave pit road just behind the pace car, so Josh will go one lap down. It does appear in this one, so definitely unfortunate this late in it, but at least Josh is going to try to stick it out, see what he can get, and hopefully get some sort of a half-decent spot.
Racing for points, you got to try to do this, And we saw Josh. He won the championship the last B season. In our spring B season, Josh won the championship, and Josh never won a race until the very last race of the season. When it was time to win the championship, he went out and won the race.
Yeah, Josh knows when he has to get it done, he gets it done, and like you said, he did last season, and he's gonna do what he can to do it again this year. Obviously, not the start he's wanted so far, and especially not here at Pocono, but he has some strong tracks coming up that we'll certainly see him towards the front, and I'm sure we'll see Josh Adams in victory lane once or twice before the end of the season as well.
Yeah, I would think, he's good enough to do it. He's got to be frustrated putting himself in a spot where he's got a points race again, probably wanted to just win a couple races, run at the front, be able to give yourself the liberty of a DNF or 2 or maybe 3, but the way the season has started for him over here, he's kind of out there trying to, get every point. He's putting himself in that spot again. It makes it harder to work there, but he showed last season it can be done.
Yeah, so one thing I do just want to point out here, Chad has opted to take the inside on this restart, Chris, so a little bit of a change from last time, as he'll have RC on his outside, Tyler Fody behind him at this point. So it'll be interesting to see how this one goes, but Chad being the control car gets another great jump.
Yep. Oh, they're stacking up hard on the outside lane back there towards the back. The 90 is blinking, but nobody knows where he's at. He's wrecking. I really think it's time for them to maybe send Scott. Blinking is pretty bad here.
Yeah, I mean, I just tried.
He moved into second during the whole deal.
Yeah, I was trying to pull up Scott to see what was going on, and I could not find him anywhere on the circuit. As like you mentioned, Tyler Fody has taken second place here. Trevor Elam now looking to the inside of Kwame Scott.
Yep, that's the first side-by-side battle, and they're a tight side-by-side battle.
Yeah, they're racing hard. They're racing close. Trevor not one to really move out of the way. Kwame's going to race hard too. These guys are battling for that fourth position. Oh, as they make contact.
Together. Oh, the 11. Oh, we are
another big one.
Here.
I think Matthew Weeks ended up wrecking onto pit road. This is going to be penalties assessed based off of that from iRacing.
You could see that start way back there in the middle of the corner when Trevor left the bottom, started pushing up, and just got up into Kwame a little bit. Kwame gets into the 11.
We'll pull up the Whiskey Cast replay here. Watch the 29, Trevor Elam. He starts to slide up here. Gets the side of Kwame right there. You see Kwame's car react. Unfortunately for Kwame, he's along for the ride here. Matthew Weeks, nothing he can do. As he's actually going to wreck on a pit road. Latham eats the pit wall.
The 83 is involved as well.
Take a look. Try to find the 83. Vincent Isabella through that one. We'll take another look there. Watch and see what happened to Vincent. He's still up in 7th. As you see it start right there, top left corner of the screen. Latham getting involved. Vincent Isabella here in that yellow car. Oh, he absolutely annihilates the side of Jesse Rasmus. A tally has been issued to Trevor Elam. Like I said there, tally for Trevor. 29 machine.
I agree with that. Trevor just got a little over anxious down there.
Yeah, as I can hear him on the radio right now, I believe giving his explanation of the incident. I do want to find Jacob Adams here, as I did see him work his way through that incident.
Yeah, I mean, it's been...
Let's find Jake. That's Kwame.
It's in 11th.
Yeah, we'll go quarter speed here. You see Kwame on the outside wrecking. See Jesse on the inside. Jacob just absolutely sends it for a slide through this one. He'll make it through on skates. So hell of a job by Jacob getting through that one. And one thing that we do try to do on these broadcasts is highlight the top running rookies. And tonight is actually a guy, I believe, making his first ever start. Christopher Tate in the 3F number 30 machine. He's up in 6th right now, so good run for him in his debut race. And Ethan Stanley, the second highest in 9th.
Damage that he got somewhere, so.
Yeah, I believe he was in the, I want to say the second incident of the night that involved Kynan Jones. Quite a while back now, because we are in caution number 8. Those cautions just come one after the other, but yeah, good job by Christopher. I mean, he's new to the league. He's someone we haven't seen before. And he's doing a nice job. Like I mentioned, Ethan Stanley, second highest rookie in 9th. Jacob Adams, we just saw him get through that wreck. He's 11th. And Kynan Jones, look at that car, Chris. It's hardly a car anymore. More like a dented soda can, but he's up in 12th after recovering from an early incident. So nice recovery by Kynan and good job by these rookies.
And as we sit here, I don't think anybody's really going to come get their tires. Everybody's kind of, you know, we haven't went green.
Yeah, no, we haven't really gone green too much in the second half of this one, which is really unfortunate, but we are going to be 7 laps to go when we go green. Chad Frankenfield, Tyler Fody, R.C. Anderson, Trevor Elam, and Garrison Hogan, the top 5. Christopher Tate, Trey Holmes, Tate Lytle, Ethan Stanley, and Michael Hossack, the top 10 late in this one. So, it'll be interesting to see who can get what position. I think the win is most likely between Chad and Fody and RC, but Trevor was strong on the last restart, and having Garrison up there for the first time tonight is definitely going to mix it up a little bit, as he's typically strong in these cars as well, and should make a good run at it if he has the opportunity to.
Yeah, but I mean, as we've seen, anything can happen on these restarts. If somehow third place can take off with the leader, you know, it could be very interesting. I think third place is kind of scared to try to time it, you know, because as second place, you know, you really can't leave first and get to the end of this box first. You got to check up, and it's everybody learning these restart procedures. I think they're afraid to try to do anything but wait till the leader. But you gotta, if you're gonna win, if you're gonna get the lead from Chad, you got to get on that edge, man. You got to get up there and get ready to go and try to time it.
Yeah, I mean, if I'm in third place, I'm going to be right on Chad's bumper coming to this restart, because as soon as you see him inch forward at all, you have to be on that loud pedal. You have to be going, and you have to be with him. We'll actually ride on the nose here with RC, so we can see how good of a restart Chad's going to get, as once again, yeah, Chad just pulls
He gets
away.
it going, but there's going to be some help here coming to Fody. He's going to get a good little push here.
Yeah, Trevor right there trying to do what he can to work his way up, as you see these guys battling quite hard.
RC's going to get clear of Fody down here, though.
Yeah, RC clears Fody. Fody tries to clear in front of Elam, and Elam has the nose in there. So Trevor, not giving up. He's going to keep pushing. As you can see, these guys battling side by side here for the third position.
Remember what happened to the last guy that was on the outside of Trevor?
Yeah, and it looked like it was just about to happen again, as Trevor will have help here from Garrison Hogan, as Tyler Fody waiting for help from Christopher Tate on the high side. RC trying to run down Chad. Still a bit of a gap there, about 0.3 of a second. But the battle continues for third with Trevor and Tyler Fody here. Just battling side by side.
Two have gotten away.
Yeah, and the one thing we gotta...
Oh, what is that the lane? Look at the lane the 30's running through one. Wow. We got a wreck here. Not sure where it is.
Yeah, I'm not sure who was involved in that one. We'll pull it up on the Whiskey Cast replay. I don't even know if it's going to show us who actually wrecked here. All I'm seeing is Scott Crump blinking. See if you can find it, Chris. We may have to wait and see what happens here.
It was the 90. It was the 90.
Yeah, so chances of us seeing that wreck are slim to none. As you see here, Crump is blinking out.
If you can look at bring it up on your replay for the people to see at home, the rear chase from Mark Keeler, and you watch it when the 90 starts disappearing, it looks kind of like Back to the Future. You see the smoke, but you don't see the car.
Oh, yeah, you can see. Oh, there he is. Yeah, you can actually see Crump hit the wall here. Let's back that up just a little bit more.
It's loud. You see the smoke, but you don't see the car.
It's like Magic Man. Now you see me, now you don't. Yeah, you can see heavy smoke right there in the rear view. 90th fault tally issued. EOL as a precaution. Yeah, I mean, at this point, I'd almost go beyond an EOL, but I'm not race control, so I don't get to call that. But I mean,
yeah, he
he's
has
just
bad internet every week, but this week seems
really excessive, and it's caused incidents. He's been involved in incidents, and it's just really unfortunate. But you know, on this upcoming restart here, Trevor Elam is going to be in third with Tyler Fody in fourth. So I wonder which lane Chad will take this time, if he'll go high side or if he'll try to work with Trevor on the bottom, see what they can do. But Garrison up there in fifth, Ethan Stanley, Christopher Tate, Tate Lytle, Trey Holmes, Michael Hossack. Michael's done a really nice job, Chris. I mean, he's kept his car pretty clean. He's been quiet.
Earlier, remember?
Yeah, he was in an incident earlier on with Wyatt. That's right, not too long ago. And yeah, he's up in 10th, so good job by Michael. We don't often get to see him up in the top 10, and I always enjoy seeing my fellow Canadians doing well out there.
You know, and we've seen this race have the ability. We ran the first half of this race with just, one yellow. It was a great race to that point. This place is a great racetrack. It's a great place to race. Like I said, this is one of the tracks where when we are calling a broadcast, I would rather be racing. You know, I really enjoy this place. But people just got to have some give and take. That last track obviously was just internet, related. But people got to have some more give and take. You can't just stick your nose in a 3-wide hole just to barely get there. You kind of got to... I know it's fun and it's easy to say and easy to look at, and it looks cool to get 5-6 wide down into one on these restarts. But if you don't have give and take, this is what you're going to have.
Yeah, absolutely. You're definitely going to have it if you don't give and take, like you mentioned. I mean, it doesn't hurt to kind of back off your corner a little bit, let somebody by, and just kind of give some courtesy out there. And that's something that does seem to be missing here in the second half of this race is these guys are just push, 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 and
Yeah,
it's
and you don't even have to let
causing
him by. Just give
incidents.
him room. Like if he's
Yeah.
there, give him the lane. Say, okay, let's race. Don't try to stick your nose into a hole to barely get beside a guy by a quarter inch either. You know, just take care of the people you're around. You can't. You know, everybody complains about these cautions, and some of the drivers in here are complaining about it right now. But if you're not going to take care of the people around you and you're just going to go 110% and not care, this is what we're going to have. The drivers control the type of race that we get, and they have made it clear that they don't want to give any space or an extra inch down into one. So this is what we're having.
Yeah, and I kind of think back to another league that you and I take part in, Chris. Well, you sometimes and me full time, but their administrative team mentioned that the quality of racing is in the hands of the drivers, and a lot of people kind of made fun of that and whatever, but it's true. I mean, if you're going to give extra space and kind of race with a bit more courtesy, the racing quality is going to be better. And that's something that, like we mentioned, has been lacking here in the second half of the race. And I hope that changes. Obviously, we're only going to have a green, white checkered here, but I hope going forward in the season.
This is not one of the green, white checkers.
Yeah, this is a regulation green, white checkered. But I hope going forward in the season we do see a bit more courtesy, and these guys have the capability of putting on a great race as long as they want to do that.
Yeah, and I don't even know going forward in the season. Like, I feel like the races this season have been pretty good for the most part in the series.
Yeah,
it's just
no, for sure.
Half of this race, so I have no worries moving forward. A lot of these guys are capable of taking care of each other.
Yeah, most definitely. I mean, we have some great drivers in this series and in this league in general, and they've shown that tonight for sure. I mean, we've had multiple different drivers that we thought were going to be the guy to win this race tonight, and now it comes down to a few of them here on the final restart to show us who's going to take it. And I mean, I think having control on the restart, Chad's going to have that upper edge, but RC's been really strong. Trevor's been really strong, and so is Tyler Fody. So it's going to be interesting to see.
Any give here. We're at a green, white checkered at this point.
Oh, yeah.
It is time to take.
You're going to see the bumper. You're going to see beating and banging. It's going to happen, but it'll be interesting to see who takes it as pace car is about to turn off here.
Yeah, we're going to have Chad in control. He's picked the bottom to be putting Trevor behind him. Green is out. Great jump once again for Chad. Ooh, Trevor missed a shift or something right there. I saw his car all of a sudden lose momentum.
Yes, they're actually 3 wide here. Fody will kind of back off a little bit as Garrison's now on the inside of Trevor. But RC is right there.
31 car's getting a lane change. It's Gerald Campbell. As we head down there towards the tunnel turn. Can we get back to the white?
Yeah, as you see from race control there, like you mentioned, Chris, lane change for the 31.
Oh, we've got
that will be a pass through. Multiple cars involved there. Zach Evans, Dave Carpenter, looks like White Canadal was involved as well. We'll take a look here on the Whiskey Cast replay. Whiskey Cast certainly getting their time there. Looks like it started maybe with Blaze Brinkley. Blaze actually just grabbed the wall.
Way back, back in the tunnel turn. It started way back. Yeah, there you go. I think you're at the right spot.
Yeah.
No, it started before that. If you can back that 71 up some more before he goes down into turn 2.
Oh yeah, you can see that. You can see that incident right there. Like we started there with Blaze Brinkley. Dave Carpenter slides up into the side of Brinkley. Brinkley gets the wall, slides back. And now Carpenter's car is just slow at this point. Wyatt kind of looks and pushes it 3 wide here between Kynan Jones and Dave Carpenter. And ends up clipping the wheel of Carpenter. And That just turns into a big incident. Zach Evans involved, Dave Carpenter involved, Wyatt Canado, Conan Jones. We'll go back once again on this one. And I just want to ride quickly on board with Wyatt Canado. As you can see, that one developing. 84 at fault tally has been issued.
Yeah, if
Yeah,
I was
that's...
Wyatt, I would argue that because that started way back. I don't think race control went back as far as we did there to see the contact that started the wreck.
Yeah, no, you're definitely right on that. And I know Wyatt probably will have something to say on that based off of the evidence that we just saw there.
So now we are going to get into that green-white checkered area.
Yeah, we're gonna enter the Hucks overtime zone here. See what these guys can do with another green-white checker. This one in overtime. And actually, speaking of Huck, look at that Hucks machine, Chris. He's almost in the top 20.
Yeah, just survive, and we do still have the boss man in here with us. That car's, like you said, we're sitting 21st right now in that 14 car. Very workmanlike effort tonight to keep his head down and stay in it when, you know, for all intents and purposes, he probably thought he was out of it.
Yeah, I mean, based off of the damage that he did receive early on in this one, many would have anticipated that he would be out of this race, and he's up there in 21st. Josh Adams right there just beside him in 22nd, and these guys had heavy damage, and they get to continue on and try to get themselves a top 20 or better finish, and I think that's all you can really ask, especially after being involved in some rather large incidents.
We'll see what happens here, you know, and he could get a top 15 or top 10 based on...
I mean, at this point, you really never know because there's so much opportunity for another wreck. We could, yeah. So Race Control has mentioned that the 84 Wyatt Canado has requested a review of that tally, Chris. So as we mentioned up here in the broadcast booth as well, obviously it did kind of look like that incident started a little further back with Dave Carpenter and Blaze Brinkley. But again, we're not Race Control, so we don't get to make that final call. But
I was just pointing out that I don't think they went back and looked. I think they just looked right there between turn 2 and 3. I don't think that he went back. If you go back going into 2, you can see what happened and took place for them to be in that position.
Yeah, I mean, even with our software here, when I clicked on what caused the yellow, it brought us back to that incident. But you can see Blaze Brinkley clips the wall just ahead of it after contact with the 71. So it might have just been more of a chain of unfortunate events, not necessarily one person earning a tally. But we'll see what happens. We'll see what Race Control calls. But yeah, Chris, I think you're right. I think that starts a little bit prior to the incident with Wyatt. But we are coming 1 to green. Pace car is going to come off this time, and these guys are going to get going once again. And I do want to point out Garrison Hogan continues his charge forward. He's up 32 spots and now finds himself on the 2nd row behind RC Anderson. So I think RC might have some of the best help he's had all night to get going on this restart.
Yeah, I just think these guys are going to have to time it. You can't wait. If you wait for Chad to go, you're basically conceding first. You know, you kind of got to pick a point when he's going to go, and let's go get the win.
Yeah, I mean, you got to be committed. You have to be ready. 31 has been parked for misconduct as per Race Control. I don't have any background on that, Chris. Do you?
I believe there was a name calling incident, and there had already been a warning given out. So
10-4, yeah. So definitely unfortunate there, but got to follow the rules. As pace car's off, Chad Frankenfield will lead them to green once again.
And he's gone in the restart zone. Good help to the 50, though.
Yeah, like I mentioned.
We're wrecking. Oh, Mark Keeler, 71. Josh Adams, is it gonna stay green.
Look, caution is out. Chris,
Take a
these
look
guys
and
are
see what happened.
definitely going to be getting frustrated. We will take a look on the Whiskey Cast replay. You said it started around Mark Keeler.
Well,
Oh,
I think, I said the 84 wasn't at fault for the last wreck, but I think the 84 is going to be at fault for this wreck. It looks like he might have been trying to jump the start there, too. Race control might, they might have a pretty big issue with what the 84 did there. Laid back, tried to get a run, and then just drove over top of the 08.
yeah, I'd like to take a look from the onboard of Y Canadal here. Look at the 84 fueled up rate. Yeah. From this view here, Chris, he just drives right into the back of Mark Keeler. Like you mentioned, yeah, I think he might have been trying to jump the restart. He gets into the back of Keeler, Carpenter involved. Josh Adams just goes for a heck of a ride. Into the wall on the inside, into the wall on the outside.
And the 71 and the 90 might have been doing the same thing. Those cars at the back were laid way off the field.
You'll take a look here, Dave. Oh. Yeah, Dave Carpenter way back from the field here.
He slows down when he gets there.
Oh. Yeah, Carpenter's only involvement in this wreck was getting clipped by Keeler on the wreck, but yeah, he may have been trying to jump that restart as well. I think race control is going to have quite a bit to look at on this one. But Chad continues to lead over RC, Trevor, and Garrison here. So we're going to have another attempt at a green white checker. No action taken by race control on that last incident.
Yeah, I mean, maybe they didn't see it like I did. It looked like they were laid pretty far back there, but... And for those of you that are wondering at home, we pitted right at 30 to go. And the fuel window is 30 to 35 laps. Well, that's 30 to 35 green flag laps. Since we pitted, we have had very little green flag racing since we pitted. These guys got plenty of fuel. They could probably, if it ran green for 30 laps, they could probably run 30 laps from here.
Yeah, realistically, they definitely could. As, you know what, just for the heck of it under caution, let's take a ride with the wave around car of Harrison Talon.
Yeah, and I will say we pitted on like lap 31, it looks like. And since then, we have had 3 green flag laps.
That's definitely unfortunate, Chris. I mean, at the beginning of this race, it looked like they had the making... Oh, Harrison hits the wall, taking his wave around lap, but it definitely seemed like there was the parts and pieces to have a great long green flag run race, and unfortunately that just has not happened since the first half. As we do take a look through the field, once again, we'll just take a look at a couple of the biggest movers, give them a little bit of airtime here. Garrison Hogan, like we mentioned, up 32 spots. Ethan Stanley up 18 spots. Christopher Tate 16 spots. Justin Vandermeer also up 18 spots. Alex Gray doing a nice job in 15th. He's up 19 spots. Car looks pretty good. Cody Harrington up 27. And Josh Adams, even though he's 24th with a damaged car, he's up 14 spots. So good job by him so far in this one to try to recover from his incident. As it does look like lights are off on the pace car here, Chris.
Yeah, hopefully, I don't know. It's getting pretty dark out here, it looks like. I mean, are we running out of daylight?
Yeah, I mean, didn't Chris Buescher win a race here because of fog and they didn't have the lights to be able to continue this one?
Yeah, they don't have no lights here, for sure.
I mean, we don't have any fog yet, but who knows? Could just get a random bout of fog at some point. I mean, eventually we're gonna have rain in iRacing. Could we have a random rainstorm break out and be slipping and sliding at Pocono? Who knows?
Yeah, I don't know, that's for sure, but it's getting pretty dark out here. It's hard to see these cars from the front stretch.
Yeah, pretty soon those lights are gonna have to come on the front end of the pace car just to see where he's going if these guys continue with any more cautions. But Chad once again will lead them to green. RC on his outside, Trevor and Garrison just behind them, as the pace car will make that sharp left-hand turn and get us going once again.
Yeah, we get into the restart zone. Green is out. Oh, a pretty good start this time. RC finally times one out pretty good.
Yeah, he got absolutely hammered by Garrison Hogan on that restart. That's exactly what RC needed. As you can see, he's right there, but just behind them, they're about... Oh, Trevor sending it.
Trevor sending it. Is anybody surprised?
I've never seen Trevor send it before, Chris.
Oh, we're going to get another wreck here. The 30 and the 2. Oh, we're going to stay green? We're going to keep it going?
Looks like we're going to stay green so far. Christopher Tate way off the pace in the back, but battle continues up front here.
Oh, the battle might be for second. Is Trevor going to look to the bottom? Not yet.
They're definitely still within a shot at Chad here, as a white flag will come out this time by. Next flag will end this one no matter what.
Yeah,
Trevor's going to continue to try to battle here with RC. As you see, RC send it here from our blimp camera.
Ooh, contact between the 40 and the 4 down into 1.
Yeah, battle also there for the 4th position, but definitely a hot battle up here. So RC's just going to continue to try to get Chad. I don't think he's going to have enough time, though, Chris.
He drives down into the tunnel turn.
If it sticks, he may be able to send it into 3.
Will there be contact? I think you do the bump and run. I would do the bump and run right here. Let's see if he does it. We drive down into 3. He gets to the back bumper.
Not enough.
Not enough.
Does Trevor put the bumper? Trevor's going to put the bumper. Chad's going to win it with RC second and Trevor Elam third. Tyler Fody fourth. Garrison Hogan fifth. Ethan Stanley sixth. Michael Hozak in seventh. Jacob Adams up there in eighth. Trey Holmes in ninth. And Latham Joyner in 10th. That's a... Oh my. I just want to show you the Huck machine. P17 for Casey Hatch. Heck of a recovery for him, but your winner tonight, the boss man, Chad Frankenfield.
Yeah, I thought we were going to see shades of Dale Sr. versus Jeremy Mayfield down there, but it looks like RC just got to him a little too late, gave him a little nudge, and it might have just helped the 15 rotate.
You know, Chris, we had a number of incidents here in the second half of this race, but that battle at the end of this one, surely made up for those long cautions. As RC got up there, he put the bumper to Chad, and you know, they raced hard, they raced clean, and Chad Frankenfield was able to take the victory here today at Pocono.
Yeah, and I'm going to give a shout out to some guys, like you said. You might have mentioned this guy. Cody Harrington comes back to 11th. Great run for the Dale Jarrett machine.
Heck of a job.
Justin Vandermaal came back from a lot of issues. Kwame Scott, we saw him get involved in that big wreck. Scott Crump, he got up there. Alexander Gray, 16th.
That's one guy, Chris, just quickly on Alexander Gray. He has had so many races where he's had bad luck that it is awesome to see him get a top 20 finish, a solid top 20 finish in 16th, and really show what he could do. So congratulations to Alex Gray.
Yeah, and we'll hang out here for a minute, see if we get our 3 podium drivers, Trevor, RC, and Chad up here.
Yeah, and just continuing, like we mentioned, Casey Hatch, 17th, Michael Goodman in 18th did a good job. Brandon Ultra recovered from his incidents to P20. So good job by him. You know, quite a few guys had some bad luck, but unfortunately in racing, for some guys, if you don't have bad luck, you have no luck at all. And that's what we saw for some of these guys. But looks like we do have two of our top three finishers in that waiting room. We don't have Trevor Elam yet. We'll give him just another moment here, and then we'll grab the next finisher, which does appear to be RC.
Yeah, I think we'll go ahead and do RC. If Trevor's not here, well, we'll just have to do it without him.
Yeah, Trevor loves to talk, but he's gonna miss out on it.
Oh, there he is.
Of course.
Very end here, at the very end of it. All right, we are now joined by our third place finisher, Trevor Elam. Trevor, take us through your race, the wreck there off of 3, and what more you needed to go for the win.
Well, I'm gonna be honest with you guys. It was really a great night by the 29. The 29 for sure. Our qualifying effort was good. I knew qualifying was gonna be a big deal in this race. Pocono's the setup for whatever reason was difficult as all hell to pass, and tonight proved it. As far as the race, it was good. I'm glad we came in with third. I think we were the winning car, to be honest with you. It didn't look like it because we spent the last 20 laps under caution, but I think if we had some green flag laps, that would have been a different story. And as to the wreck off turn 3, I think I just watched the replay on it. Little bit of net code. We rubbed doors, but it was a puff of smoke, that famous net code puff of smoke, and then he shot towards the wall. Kwame Scott, that was. And one more comment on that. I would take questions after this. One more comment on that. I'm tired of getting the crap end in the stick in this league from when it comes to incidents. All them guys, I don't know if any of y'all are in the chat when that stuff happens. They just went ham on me. I don't understand why it's when I accidentally cause an accident that it turns into a crap shoot on me. You know what I mean? I think I run well enough. I think I cause a good amount of incidents, and I'm not proud of that, but I think we run good enough to get some respect in this league, and I just think we're hitting the wits end on the crap talking, man. I think it's getting a little old.
Well, I can't speak to everything that happens in the group chat and whatnot, but I can speak for the incident tonight. It did not appear to be very much, if any, net code in that incident. It looked like two guys racing hard. You kind of pushed up tight a little bit, got into Kwame, and the wreck ensued. It was just it was hard racing, but the last 30 laps of that race, that definitely wasn't the only mistake we saw on track, or the only incident we saw on track. But before I ask you about sponsors you want to thank and whatnot, Robert, you got any questions?
Yeah, Trevor, obviously, you did just talk about incidents, and I mean, that kind of leads into this next question by me. But if you could get closer to RC with one to go, did you plan on giving him a bit of a bumper there, or were you kind of content at that point knowing you weren't going to take the win, just kind of riding behind him and see what he could do?
See, I knew with the amount of laps that were left, it was going to be really, really tough to beat Chad, who was leading under all these pace laps we had here at the end. But if I got close to RC, I was actually more willing to push him up to Chad, and then those two go at it, and then maybe because I saw in front of me, right there at the end, RC gave him a little bit of a nudge going into 3, and Chad washed up, but it was too late and not a big enough of a nudge, you know what I mean? So I was more willing to push RC up to Chad and see if they'd tango and, see what would have happened, because I don't think I'm winning from third passing RC. I think it's going to be a battle for second at that point. So that was my plan behind it. It didn't work, but I'm still here talking to you guys. I don't think, I'm being personally honest, I won't be here Wednesday. You know what I mean? I'm not a good road course racer. But come next Monday, come next Wednesday, I really hope to see y'all again.
Well, I got good news for you. This Wednesday, we have no cup race, so you will not miss the Roval. It'll be next Wednesday.
Oh, perfect. Yes, perfect.
Great news for you, Trevor.
That's great.
Unfortunate news for Jeff Green, but great news for you.
Yes. I'm not a fan of the Roval, that's for sure. But we'll be there next Wednesday for the Roval, I reckon.
And before we let you hop out of here, any sponsors you want to thank, shout out you want to give?
Find the world media as always. Those guys do a great job. Keeping their name on the card is always a pleasure. Field Up Racing, we have fun. And to the league, man. This is fun. We keep coming back and doing it. I love it. This is the best league to be in. Can't thank them enough. I thank y'all for what y'all do. I enjoy talking to y'all. I wish I could do it more often, but things happen. We all know that. So thank y'all very much for what y'all do. And it won't be the last time this season. I feel pretty good about that. So
Well, all right, Trevor. We'll see you next week in Atlanta, and good luck the rest of the season.
thank you very much.
All right, we're joined by our second place finisher, the guy who was trying to play the Jeremy Mayfield roll down into 3. RC, take us through the race. Obviously, the second half, not what you wanted, but the move down in 3, it looked like you got to him, but it might have helped him rotate the center there.
Yeah, after all those restarts and with the points, and I had Fody behind me, and he's pretty much my biggest competition in points at the moment, at least for the B class. So I was like, if I could finish second, he's still back there in 4th. That'll be good for me. I was gonna give Chad a shot there, no matter what. I just didn't want it to be hard enough to where I was just gonna chuck him in the wall or lose the race because of it. Because Trevor had a pretty good run on the exit. Had I hit him harder, I think he would have had a shot at that. But yeah, the second end of that race was pretty tough, pretty excruciating. A lot of yellows. The restarts are really tough. So it's just trying to get a good jump.
Robert, you got any questions here for RC?
Yeah, RC. Obviously, we saw you give Chad the bumper there on that final lap coming into the last corner. Aside from giving him that bump or just kind of straight up dumping him, did you think you could do anything else to get by him? And is there any point in this race that you thought, damn, I kind of lost it?
Yeah, I mean there was a couple restarts in there where I got a really good run out of 1, and I was definitely gonna be able to pull up alongside him going down to 2, and then we end up with a caution before I even had a chance to do it. And then every time we ended up with a green run at least to turn 3, I never got a good run out of turn 1. So it's just kind of a luck of the draw. I think I had something for him. Maybe if we had a couple laps just to set it up, I think I was a lot better out of 1, and that would have helped me. But he's just really good in 3 and 4, so that was just a desperate move. See if I can move him a bit, get him to get a big catch maybe. But I think I just helped him rotate the corner a little bit. But I think we had really good long run pace. I was saving tires a lot where he was pushing really hard. That's how he got to the lead. He was pushing pretty good, kind of banking on a yellow. I think I would have had a really, really good car had we gone longer and done like a 30 lap stint. I think I would have been coming back through the field with 10 to go on those stints. But yeah, it's kind of just how Pocono goes. Sometimes it's a bunch of yellows, sometimes it's green all the way. Kind of how all the elite races are. I don't really think I've been in too many that just have 3 or 4 cautions, something like that. It's either 1 or 0 or tons of them. So cautions just breed the cautions, and just excited for the cup race on Wednesday? I think I'm going to be missing Wednesday.
So actually, as Chris just mentioned to Trevor, we are not racing this Wednesday, so we will be at the Roval next Wednesday. So you shouldn't miss that one, and you should be pretty darn good there.
Yeah, perfect. I'll be there. But yeah, I keep looking at the schedule because I'm hoping that whenever I'm out of town, we have an off week, so I can make as many as I can.
Well, RC, any sponsors, shout out you want to give here before we let you go tonight from Pocono?
Yeah, of course, Chad and you guys up here in the booth watching the replays. Really fun for me just to see them, and I enjoy doing these. Even when it's going through yellow flags, it's still fun. Something to do with racing, even when I'm not racing a real car. So tons of fun. And obviously, Rayco Machine and Engineering Group, they're on every single one of my cars this season and every elite season. So awesome to have them and something different from my usual scheme. So thanks, guys.
All right, RC, we will see you next week in Atlanta and the Roval. So try to go 2 for 2 next week. You've been pretty good all year, so good luck the rest of the season.
Yep. Thanks, guys.
All right, we are now joined by the race winner, Chad Frankenfield, race winner, league owner, league admin, do a lot over here. How do you find time to get ready for these races, Chad, and take us through? Obviously, the pit crew there got it done for you. Got off pit road first, and we never really went green after that.
Honestly, I mean, it just, I've been trying to just put more practice time in, whether it's just doing a big green flag run and, when I can, even if I just jump on here once during the week, it's helped me out a lot, and I feel like competitive-wise, it's probably one of my more competitive seasons in recent seasons. So, but this is one of those tracks where if you get yellows, you're going to get them in bunches, and that's why I was trying to I think saving the tires was almost pointless. So I was just going, and that's why I wanted to get the lead as soon as possible, because I knew if we were going to get a string of yellows, it was going to be hard to do anything. And that basically worked out. I mean, I felt like on a short run, I was definitely the best car. On the long run, I definitely think I was fading a little bit. But yeah, I mean, it was at least the first half of the race was pretty fun. It's unfortunate the last half wasn't very good.
You got any questions here for Chad, Robert?
Yeah, like you mentioned, you felt like you were more of a short run car, and like you mentioned as well, the second half of the race did have a Chad ton of yellows and lots of wrecks out there, but I guess that kind of played into your car tonight. And like you said, you're a short run guy, and you were able to capitalize on that. But if we did have a long run, what was your strategy? Had we gone green the whole way, what would you have done different than what you did?
I think I would have been all right. I think I would have been able to manage the tires better. But like I said, my strategy was never to save tires, because I figured we weren't going to be able to get that long green flag run. So who knows? I mean, that's the one thing I struggle with, is saving tires usually. So I mean, I don't know if I would have won the race. I think I still would have gotten top 5. But 60 laps is a short race, considering the races we usually do. So you kind of have to get up on it right away. And then once that first yellow came out, it really took the tire strategy out of it, because it became a very easy one stop. You could short pit and have plenty of tire left. It would have been interesting for sure. Trevor was definitely coming really fast there before the yellow came out around halfway. Yeah, I mean, I guess we'll never know. But it just I'm just happy we were able to get another win. I mean, the last couple seasons, what's kind of screwed me is I go into the chase and I don't really have any chase points to bank on, and I have some chase points now, so really the goal is to just keep adding to that, and just try to do the best we can to get through the rounds.
Yeah, absolutely. And obviously, this season, you've had the team change in the recent weeks. How hard has that been for you to kind of manage, obviously, all the league stuff, as well as the changing of teams, and trying to remain competitive throughout? Like, how hard has that been? It must have taken some sort of toll on you as well.
Yeah, I mean, it's been an interesting couple weeks. As some people know, I've kind of dealt with some personal loss, and everything after that doesn't really matter. It realizing this is just a game and you're just here to have fun. And obviously with Little League Racing has been cool. I've been running with them on IndyCar now for almost a year, so that's a good group of guys. So it's been fun running with them. I'm excited to go back to Ford next season and stop running these stinking Toyotas. I love running the Mustang, so I'll go back to that next season. But yeah, it's been an interesting couple weeks, like I said. But you just got to keep going, and now we have a little bit of a break. We're not running again until Monday, and the truck's running Sunday. But I'm not going to run the dirt race, so we'll be back on Monday, and then it gets interesting from there.
All right, Chad, and real quick before we let you go, sponsors, shout out to anybody you want to thank, and I thought Robert might ask it, but I will. What were you thinking going into 3 there when RC's closing that gap to give you a little bump?
I felt pretty good because the car was tight on entry and in the middle. So I knew if I entered low enough, he wasn't going to go to the grass. So I was kind of forcing him. If he was going to hit me, he was going to square me up. But yeah, I mean, I figured it was coming, and kudos to RC. He hit me, but he didn't hit me hard enough to really bend me out of shape. So.
And sponsors, shout outs.
Oh yeah, sorry. I want to thank Kicking the Tires. They've been on board this season, which has been really neat. I've never really had a sponsor like that that wants to come back. When they decided to come back, for the B season, I was surprised because typically sponsors on iRacing don't really stick around. So it's been really neat to have them on board, and like I said, I'm just glad they've been supportive and Little League of Racing, Mrs. Goody's Goodies, Brizzy Cam, Blue Egg Marketing, TA Services, everybody on the Elite Racing Network crew. We pull off 3-4 races a week, and it's all pretty amazing. So again, I just want to give a shout out to everybody there, and yeah, I mean that's really it. I just thankful for everybody that's involved in Elite.
Well, it's a fun show. I know tonight had a little more yellows in the second half than we wanted, but it's great races to watch usually. Even though it was a little reckless here late tonight, it was still a good finish with the little bump and run. We had shades of Earnhardt and Mayfield there into turn 3. So
yeah. Luckily, I wasn't Earnhardt in that end. So.
All right. Well, congratulations on the win, Chad, and we will see you next Monday night when we get to Atlanta.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Well, Robert, we had a little bit of a green flag run, and then it went caution, and more caution. Now we head to Atlanta after Chad got the win tonight. So, any final thoughts?
Yeah, tonight was definitely an interesting race, Chris. We saw some good driving, some questionable driving, and some hard driving. So obviously, congratulations to Chad on the victory. Like you mentioned, he's had some tough times personally over the last couple of weeks here, and nice to see him rebound with a nice victory here tonight. And some great drives by a couple of guys that usually we don't see towards the front. So exciting times, and I'm looking forward to next week. I believe you said we're at Atlanta next week, so that should be fun as well.
Yeah, going a little bit of pack style racing. So if you enjoyed tonight, stay tuned with us next week. And like he said, Sunday night you got trucks at Bristol Dirt, I believe. It's Bristol Dirt. Eldora. Okay, there we go. I knew it was Dirt. And then you got us at Atlanta here on Monday night, and Wednesday we will be at the Roval. That's next week. So tune in. Give a shout out to everybody here at the Elite Racing Network. This was the Mrs. Goody's Goodies Grand National Series. Give a shout out to all our sponsors, Mrs. Goody's Goodies, TA Services, Blue Egg Marketing, and Britzy Cam. And come back and see us next week